Shiloh Jolie officially dropping Pitt from her legal name the moment she turned 18 is honestly one of the most brutal public parent rejections in celebrity history. Shiloh, born May 27, 2006 in Swakopmund, Namibia, is now 20 years old. She turned 18 on May 27, 2024. Just 3 days later, on May 30th, 2024, she filed a legal name change petition in Los Angeles Superior Court. The speed is honestly telling. California law required her to publicly publish the intended change in a newspaper. Her petition ran openly in the Los Angeles Times. Absolutely nowhere to hide. A July 2024 hearing got postponed over a background check clerical issue. Her attorney Peter K. Levine handled the delay. Then, at the rescheduled hearing on August 19, 2024, the court officially granted the change. Shiloh's legal name became Shiloh Nouvelle Jolie. Peter Levine defended her afterward. His exact quote, "Shiloh made an independent and significant decision following painful events." Whatever the painful events refers to, it's obviously major. Shiloh set the whole precedent for what her siblings would eventually follow. She was the first Jolie Pitt child to make the split from her father's name legally permanent. Maddox Jolie, filing his own legal petition to formally drop Pitt from his surname in May 2026, is honestly the second major domino falling in this family. Maddox, born August 5, 2001 in Cambodia, is now 24 years old. He was originally adopted by Angelina Jolie in March 2002 when he was just 7 months old. Then Brad Pitt formally adopted him in January 2006 after marrying Angelina. So Brad legally became Maddox's father for 20 years. Now, Maddox filed his petition around May 28, 2026 in Los Angeles Superior Court to legally become Maddox Chivin Jolie. Court documents obtained by TMZ, E! News, and People confirmed the filing. He cited personal reasons on his court paperwork. Vague official language for something obviously not vague personally. Maddox actually had already been informally using Maddox Jolie professionally by then. In the credits of Angelina's 2025 film Couture, he was listed as Maddox Jolie as assistant director. That premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September 2025. So he'd been quietly testing the name change publicly before making it official. Maddox's legal name change is still pending in court. Brad has not filed any objection to the petition either way. Zahara Marley Jolie, filing her own petition to legally drop Pitt from her surname, is the third confirmed legal move against Brad Pitt from his own kids. Zahara, born January 8, 2005 in Awassa, Ethiopia, is now 21 years old. Angelina originally adopted Zahara on July 6, 2005. Brad then formally adopted her in January 2006. Zahara's petition was filed on April 28, 2026 to legally become Zahara Marley Jolie. Then Zahara actually completed California's mandatory 4-week publication requirement in the Los Angeles Daily Journal. The notices ran on June 16th, 23rd, 30, and July 7th, 2026. Her hearing is officially set for September 28th, 2026. As of mid-July 2026, no objections have been filed against her petition. Brad has stayed completely silent on the filing. Now, here's a fun fact. Zahara actually first publicly used Zahara Marley Jolie back in November 2023, dropping Pitt during her Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority induction at Spelman College. Her exact quote, "My name is Zahara Marley Jolie, and I landed all the way from the Golden State, in the city full of angels, Los Angeles, California. I am this line's number 7. Then she was announced as Zahara Marley Jolie again at her Spelman graduation on May 17, 2026.
Zahara Marley Jolie.
Vivian Jolie and Knox Jolie, both using just Jolie without their father's last name, is honestly the newest wave of Brad Pitt rejection. Twins Vivian and Knox were both born on July 12, 2008 in Nice, France. Knox was actually born 1 minute before Vivian. They just turned 18 on July 12, 2026. Vivian dropped Pitt from her name first back in April 2024. She was credited as Vivian Jolie in the playbill for the Broadway musical The Outsiders. She served as a producer's assistant to Angelina, who backed the musical. That show opened on April 11th, 2024, when Vivian was still just 15 years old. Then Knox dropped Pitt at his own high school graduation. In June 2026, Knox graduated from Fusion Academy in Los Angeles. His diploma reportedly reads Knox Jolie, iconic teenage stance. This all happened weeks before Knox even turned 18 legally. Now, importantly, neither Vivian nor Knox has filed any legal petition yet. since they were minors at the time of using Jolie. But now that they are both 18 as of July 12, 2026, expect them to potentially follow Shiloh, Maddox, and Zahara with formal legal filings soon. Full family exodus from Pitt. The September 14, 2016 private jet incident between Brad Pitt and his family on a flight from France to Los Angeles is the real trigger for everything that came after. The family had been at Chateau Miraval, Brad and Angelina's French winery. Angelina alleged that during the flight, Brad became verbally and physically threatening toward her and the children. She filed for divorce just 6 days later, on September 20th, 2016. Then, FBI and Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services both investigated the incident. Both agencies officially closed their investigations in 2016 without filing any charges against Brad. In a 2022 court filing tied to the winery lawsuit, Angelina alleged specific claims. She claimed Brad choked one of the children and struck another in the face, grabbed Jolie by the head and shook her, and poured beer on her and beer plus wine on the children. Her filing also said some of the children pleaded with Pitt to stop. Brad has consistently denied all allegations. His representative said Angelina continues to rehash, revise, and reimagine her description of the event by adding completely untrue information. Both sides tell wildly different versions of what happened that day. Pax Jolie publicly went after Brad Pitt on Instagram in 2020 is the most direct evidence of just how bad things got between Brad and his kids. Pax, born November 29, 2003 in Vietnam under his birth name Pham Quang Sang, is now 22 years old. Angelina adopted Pax in March 2007 from Ho Chi Minh City. Then, Pax dropped a bombshell 2020 Father's Day Instagram post that shook everything. Pax, who was just 16 years old at the time, publicly went after Brad on Father's Day. His exact quotes, "Happy Father's Day to this world class." Then Pax added, "You time and again prove yourself to be a terrible and despicable person." He also called Brad an awful human being, devastating from a teenage son. He blamed Brad of showing no consideration or empathy toward your 4 youngest children who tremble in fear when in your presence. The post spread everywhere before being deleted. Pax's public attack on Father's Day was honestly the moment the world realized how deep the family rift really goes. Pax has kept a lower profile since then. He has not yet filed any legal name change petition, but his public feelings about Brad are absolutely on record. Brad Pitt and his team publicly blaming Angelina Jolie for turning the kids against him is the whole current defense strategy from Brad's camp. In May 2024 court filings, Brad's lawyers introduced testimony from former security guard Tony Webb. Tony claimed he was told Angelina instructed her children not to speak to Pitt during custody visits. Tony also alleged Angelina used NDAs to try to silence security staff. Now, important context, Tony admitted he did not personally hear any of these alleged comments himself. A contractor overheard them and reported to Tony. Also, Tony currently works for Brad Pitt now, so there are honestly obvious credibility questions about that testimony. Angelina's attorney Paul Murphy called the whole Webb filing shameful. His exact quote, "The case is not about NDAs in general, but about power and control." Paul also said, "All Angelina has ever wanted was separation and health, with positive relationships between all members of their family, including Mr. Pitt." Meanwhile, Angelina's sources have said the kids' estrangement from Brad is a direct result of how he has treated them. So Brad's camp blames Angelina, Angelina's camp blames Brad's behavior. The kids seem to have made their own decisions with legal name changes. Truth is somewhere in the middle.